The name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. He is 20 years old, of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, as the subject involved in the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, and anyone with information that may assist with the investigation is encouraged to submit photos or videos online. And while we're talking about this, let's bring in former U.S. Army Reserve Captain Abe Hamadeh on this. I think it's important, but to you first, Aaron Cohen, it seems to me like everybody who's got this information now of a Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20 years old from Pennsylvania, is now going over and looking at his social media footprint and trying to find out who he was involved in, what exactly was his ideology, if any, and what his background was, because that's kind of what we can do nowadays.
Well, we just profiled him based on the age in the last 30 seconds that we were talking. He's 20 years old. It's impressionable. He's physical. He's a male. He's white. He had the capability of being able to get up on that rooftop. Again, very, very disturbing that it wasn't covered, that particular building. Not going to point my finger at the Secret Service, but as the FBI continues to do their investigation.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's fishy to me. Now, and I'm not saying that what happened wasn't real. Definitely not saying that, because I recently ran across some pictures that kind of tells me that, yeah, it was real. But the reasoning behind it, I just can't understand, because new information shows that this guy, Matthew Crooks, allegedly that attempted the assassination on Trump, is not the guy. And that kind of makes sense. Hence, reason why the guy would make a video saying you got the wrong guy. Now, the real person they say it is a guy allegedly named Maxwell Urick. Now, I took my time and I compared the pictures, and this guy right here does not look like the alleged shooter. Not at all. And I've took the liberty of creating a link where you guys can go look at the same pictures that I saw. And if you ask me, it looks way more like the Matthew Urick guy than it does Thomas, allegedly. And the reason I say that is because the noses are totally different. But y'all go click that link in the description and you judge for yourself.
Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering, and we had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired, and he lost his life. God love him.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one.
So I'm sitting here and I came across this. It says, I went to Dubai and ate poop for 20 million naira. Now I'm losing my life and need help desperately. Now, for you guys that are wondering, like I did, what is 20 million naira in US dollars? That's approximately 14,225 US dollars.
Damn.
Now, because some type of disease, illness, bacteria has been contracted from this situation,
wow,
this young lady, unfortunately, is looking at potentially going to meet Jesus here pretty soon because of it. Here's what I'm going to say about this. This has been going on for a long time. A lot of you guys as favorite influencers allegedly have gone over there and done it. This is a big thing that's happening. Why it's hot, I don't know. How someone could do it, I don't know. But it is happening. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're going through a situation in life where you desperately need money and you're struggling, find another way. Because this way puts your health at risk. And I guarantee you, psychologically, you will never, ever live this down. This is a bad look all around. This is a poopy situation, some would say.
Hey, if I was a female and they offered me that amount of money to go do something like that, I'd just be broke.
Y'all keep calling me a conspiracy theorist. Here's more. Thomas Matthew Crooks. Watch this. You know what? I'm just going to let y'all figure this one out. Let me pick myself down to the little guy and show you. Watch what they say about him. But then, let me show you this. When they dig into his history, they're going to make him the biggest Biden supporter in the world. They're going to make him the biggest leftist in the entire galaxy. But peep this. The Simpsons told us this was going to happen. Remember the episode where Trump got assassinated, but yet he's holding his picture of his own assassination, saying it was an attempt? Like the caption says, you can't make this shit up. I'm no conspiracy theorist. And in a new episode of The Simpsons, they said we wrote this in February of 2019. And it is the actual what's going to happen to Trump. And they are boldly saying in your face that this is going to happen. Come back to us when it does. Because they put it up on the screen. Remember, the world is a stage.
I'm convinced that The Simpsons is ran by the G word. You can't tell me nothing different.
Here are some really important things you need to hear about this Trump assassination attempt before this guy goes away, or before this clip goes away, or before this information goes away.
I was in the set of bleachers, the very far left of the podium where President Trump was speaking.
I barely hear it.
I was there with friends. I heard several gunshots. The man beside me suffered a gunshot wound to the head.
This guy was sitting where?
The man beside me.
Hold on. So this guy was sitting right next to you?
Uh-huh.
The man beside me.
What is he trying to say?
Suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Was instantly killed. I knew it was gunshots right away. My friend, he hit the deck. I was kind of looking around, just trying to see where the shots were coming from.
And these shots were coming from where?
It seemed to me like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit in the head from behind.
These shots were coming from where?
Like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit in the head from behind.
And where were these shots coming from?
Like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit in the head from behind. He was killed instantly, as far as I could tell. And at that point, a state police and a SWAT team, started evacuating the bleachers, and then I helped carry the man out of the bleachers to a tent that was behind the bleachers.
You helped carry this man to a tent that was where?
I helped carry the man out of the bleachers to a tent that was behind the bleachers.
Okay, so what he's saying is the shot came from behind the bleachers, and then they helped carry the man to a tent that was behind the bleachers. So I don't know. That whole story sounds like malarkey to me, because that don't sound right. Like, why would you carry him to the same place you said the shot came from? That didn't make sense.
He sees something that said, take a look at what happened. He sees something that said, take a look what happened.
What y'all think?
Hello, I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to. Did as much as he could to help the community.
This kid does not look like the guy that was in the video and that was saying that they got the wrong guy. He doesn't look like him. At this point, we're dealing with 3 different suspects, allegedly.
I want you to stop what you're doing and take a look at this ad. Look at it. This is a company bragging that their food will actually perish. And they're getting a lot of traction, and a lot of people are responding positively. Why? Because we live in a day and age where our food is becoming more and more synthetic, loaded with preservatives, emulsifiers, artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, flavor enhancers, all these things. And a company can come out like Burger King and say, hey, look, we don't put all that shit in our burger. Well, here's proof. It will actually mold and degrade. Like, good on Burger King, but you need to stop and think, like, how have we come this far away from what we're supposed to eating? No wonder everyone has cancer. No wonder everyone is sick. It's not like this in Europe. Anyway, food for thought. Eat right, train hard, stay focused. Don't be a sissy.
The sad part is how come I haven't seen this commercial? Why haven't I seen this ad? They may be trying to suppress it. What y'all think?
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
That was the very first answer to the very first question during tonight's press conference from President Biden. Obviously, he said Vice President Trump. He meant to say Vice President Harris.
Right.
Now, by the end of this press conference, he was asked about that specific mistake.
Sir, you referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Listen to him.
And that's how the press conference ended. During the hour-long press conference where President Biden took multiple questions from more than...
Wait, did he say listen to him or don't listen to him? Did y'all hear that?
Different journalists from varying outlets, he gave long, detailed, and sometimes overly long answers to lots of questions about Gaza and Israel and Ukraine and Russia and China. And of course, most of the questions he answered were about whether or not he was going to definitely stay in the presidential race. He responded multiple times by saying his job's not done.
I'm going to be going around making the case of the things that I think we have to finish and how we can't afford to lose what we've done or backslide on civil rights, civil liberties, women's rights. There's that little button we have. Control guns, not girls. I mean, the idea we're sitting around, that's where Kamala's so good as well. We're sitting around. More children are killed by a bullet than any other cause of death. The United States of America. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing?
That's why we asking you.
You got a candidate saying, promise the NRA, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything.
What?
I'm not going to do anything. You got a Supreme Court that is what you might call the most conservative court in American history. This is ridiculous. There's so much we can do still. I'm determined to get it done.
He also did not rule out taking another cognitive test under one specific circumstance.
And every single day I'm surrounded by good docs. If they think there's a problem, I promise you, or even if they don't think it's a problem, they think I should have a neurological exam again, I'll do it. But no one's suggesting that to me now.
When asked whether he would be willing to release the delegates he won during the primary election to vote for another Democratic presidential candidate to be the party nominee, he said, sure.
Tomorrow, if all of a sudden I show up at the convention, everybody says we want somebody else, that's the democratic process. It's not going to happen.
Now, whether tonight's performance by the president will be enough to stop more Democrats from calling for him to step down, who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Look, I am not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, right? When I first voted, I registered as a Democrat because that was most of my folks and my people were Democrats, like for real. But that was before I educated myself. I was young, right? And I never wanted to go to the Republican side just because. And when I decided to pick a side, I realized that both sides were the same and they do the same thing. Nothing ever changes with either side. So I'm just an independent. I go for the person who is going to do the most or who's talking the right stuff. That's who I go for. And this right here ain't the right stuff.
This situation is crazy as hell. There was this event that happened way back in the day that I don't think even sounds real, but it is. So this happened in 1908 in Siberia, right? There was this like uncharted area. It was like huge plot of land that had nothing there but a bunch of trees, right?
Yeah.
There was no residents, no animals, nothing like that. Well, you know, there's obviously creatures, things like that. Out of nowhere, bro, this powerful blast shot through this whole area, bro, and pretty much leveled this entire area, bro. It's like, nigga, I swear to God, it literally leveled about 80 million trees in that area.
Really?
Yes. If it was like for miles, bro.
Just one fat trail.
No, it's like, it looks like the blast radius of the whole is gone, though. Like all the trees are knocked over and the whole area is like fucked up. Whatever this thing was did not have a place of impact. So it didn't hit the ground. Scientists were also theorizing that it was either like a meteor or something like that, or a comet that just like passed through everything. Like, I forgot what they called it, the airwave or air blast or whatever from the tail of it, just like up that
that makes sense.
The what caught, and it just flew past. But scientists till this day, bro, do not know what actually happened.
What level that forest?
What level that forest to knock down 80 million trees, dude.
So I just read this long-ass rant on Facebook from what I could only assume is a boomer. And the gentleman is basically upset with the fact that there are people who live in this country that are not willing to die for it. He basically says that if you're concerned about the new bill that was passed and you're worried about one day being drafted, then you're a soft-ass pansy who doesn't belong here. And what bothered me about that whole post was not his opinion or the people who felt the same way he did, but the fact that they completely dismissed the fact that we were programmed to feel this way. People were programmed not to give a fuck about this country. So while he may be a veteran who's so patriotic, everyone else was programmed for the last 10 to 12 years to believe that we are hated for our color, for our ethnicity, for our gender preferences, for our sexual orientation. And we weren't being hated on by the people overseas. Oh no! According to social media and all of the news outlets, we were being hated on by our teachers, by the people in our classrooms, by our next door neighbor, by the people we pass up in fucking Walmart. So to have the audacity to expect people to want to fight for a country that you've told us doesn't give a fuck about us is just wild to me.
We have had a huge translucent planet in the sky that's been observed for 6 years that we still can't say what it is. And it's always being caught from live cams out in Alaska. And of course we're going to have people that refuse to acknowledge reality and say it's a speck of dust, so here's a 6-hour time lapse of the sky moving, not the camera moving, and you see this moving. Again, this has been being seen for 6 years now. I really doubt that speck of dust has been there for 6 years. Besides, you can see it almost turning as it goes through the sky. I'll zoom it in right here. It's insane. And you can see how translucent it is as well. And I was also able with the same camera to get 2 different light sources. This one on the right ended up becoming the sun if you would play the thing as it moved out. Now apparently whenever they see this mysterious object in the sky, they turn off the cameras. And this were taken 6 days apart. Now we know that Nibiru is actually a dark red color, which you can clearly see here. No, it's not a lens flare. It has its own lens flare. So we know it's not Nibiru. So what is this? I mean, the pattern design on it looked kind of like a spaceship, you know, like going down the center and the notches on it. I'm sure the Alaskan people have legends as far as what this is. What do y'all think?
Definitely a camera edit.
You know what the internet is alleging now? That Trump took this idea from Taiwanese president. Hold on. Let me pick myself down to a little guy and explain. March 19th, 2004, somebody tried to assassinate the president in Taiwan. It was eerily similar to this. Now, mind you, they said they had several sniper teams out here, right? The internet is alleging that the young boy was a patsy that they put up there with a rifle, that they had a sniper somewhere else to hit the random person in the crowd. Because this is what happened in Taiwan. Now go watch the video again of Trump. Why does he keep looking to the right? Is he expecting something? Now, the things that he did after the shooting was definitely weird. Looking for your shoes, throwing up a fist, trying to show you gangster, trying to be all hard. In Taiwan, that 20-year-old was a patsy. In America, this 20-year-old was a patsy. These are all allegations. None of this is to be proven to be factual until the truth comes out. And as you know, when everything happened, when the chaos kicked off, they pushed Trump down to the floor, which gave him plenty of time to apply anything to his ear. Again, these are all allegations. And in Taiwan, guess what happened after they shot that person? That guy became president. The Taiwanese guy became president, the one that they attempted to assassinate. Did Donald Trump take this out of that record book? Hold up, pause the read. Yeah, pause the read.
Pause the read, y'all.
Yeah, you read that? Trump took this right out of the Taiwanese attempted assassination book. Allegedly, these are all allegations until the truth comes out. When a person tells too many lies, don't believe them. How is this so much of a coincidence? Listen, y'all, you know what this is. These are all allegations. None of this is to be factual until the facts come out.
Yeah, I don't know. What y'all think?
Well, where I think the shots, tell me what you all think.
I think this is the video, you guys.
Want to really see something that said, take a look what happened. Really see something that said, take a look what happened.
Yeah, I saw that. Did y'all see the smoke come from the bleacher behind the guy with the red hat? Check him out. The guy in the very back, at the very top of the bleachers, with the black shirt, red hat. Just pay attention.
Really see something that said, take a look what happened.
Now that could have been a bullet ricocheting off of the metal piece of the bleachers after it hit the guy that was allegedly, killed in the process. I don't know, but keep looking though.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened. If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
What y'all think?
You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe.
See? I am telling you, conspiracies are planted. I've said this 1,000,000 times.
Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
See?
You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
The game is won by who exactly? Because if me personally, allegedly lose trust in my country's leaders, y'all got something to worry about. I won't put it out there like that you got something to worry about. But y'all should be worried because it's 7 billion, 9 billion of us and only a handful of y'all.
Okay, so the government had to have dropped the ball, or the world leaders, because people are saying that CERN messed up the timeline. They definitely did. Richard Simmons been unalived, y'all. Richard Simmons died years ago from a wardrobe malfunction.
A wardrobe malfunction.
I will never forget this. So since that is the case, this is what I think is happening. Just like Donnie Darko. Picture a rubber band is the tangent universe. Okay? So the tangent universe is the rubber band completely stretched out. Over time, as it's shrinking, this is symbolic of letting go of the rubber band and allowing it to snap back into reality, hyperlinking back into its timeline. The problem with the snap is if you don't fix what you need to fix in that tangent universe before time runs out and you snap back into your reality, well, you snap back all of the damage you did and you destroy your universe as well. Now, what I think we're accidentally doing is we've arrived at the tip of the spear. So we're breaching the pinnacle of technological innovation. We got some things going on that I'm guessing people just aren't ready to know about. And most people they're never really ready. But bottom line, I think they shifted timelines and now they need to course correct humanity's energy. If you really think about, this is what y'all need to see. The food recalls, the water recalls. We got new animals popping up. We got a supposed Leviathan, bro. They want to get rid of the Federal Reserve. They want to get rid of the FBI. They want to get rid of food protective. Don't this sound like an alternate universe, bro?
So, in order to create peace, they needed a blood sacrifice, a blood ritual. The thing with these rituals, you don't actually have to take people's lives. They usually do that to silence people so they don't snitch and give other people the juice, right? This is how you control the power, keep it in the family.
Facts.
You don't trust this imbecile over here. We gotta send you on your way. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's about. But I think that Trump was the blood ritual to course correct the energy of the planet in a more positive direction, in a more unified field.
Lord.
I think something that they're doing, it became a runaway train. Whatever this experiment is that they're doing, guys, and now I'm talking to Big Brother. You guys need to stop messing stuff up.
He had me at first, and then he said they're using Trump. God. You know, it's crazy how everybody try to use Trump or Biden as a reason to say this is the reason why things are going on. No, this is my opinion. I think Trump and Biden are distractions.
Know how long y'all think y'all can get away with this? But bro, eventually, I don't think y'all can actually destroy this place. Whatever this is, life, I don't think y'all could actually destroy it. But y'all could actually make it way harder than it has to be here on Earth by messing with this technology that y'all messing with. And that's just how I see it. Richard Simmons, supposedly just dying recently, is the biggest red flag I have ever seen in my life. I know for sure he passed away years ago, for sure. So that's crazy.
And the crazy part is Richard Simmons and anybody else that's been involved in the Mandela effect aren't people you just check on every day. These aren't people you just check on every day. So if you don't remember this man passing vividly, how can you even recognize a red flag like this? I can, but a lot of people can't. Shit. Hell, a lot of people don't even know who Richard Simmons is. But if you're 35 and up, you know. But, you know, that's neither here nor there, man.
So did you experience this timeline jump that we had this weekend? I thought I was crazy. I thought that it felt funny. There was something off. But when they announced Dr. Ruth and Richard Simmons just died this weekend, I knew something was up. Put it out there. A lot of people feel this way. So I believe, and this is just my belief, I believe that what happened, the attempt assassination of T, I think that we chose a more positive path. I think that there were two ways. I think that on the other side, it didn't happen the way that we're living right now. I think instinctively we chose a different path. And I do believe that it is positive. I do believe that there's a lot of us have witnessed it. A lot of us just know in our heart of hearts that this is it. But this is perfect because we know our birthday. We know when we came here. Those two deaths that were reported, and we all know that they passed a long time ago, wasn't there on accident. It's there to let us know, oh no, we all jumped. We all jumped. But my question is, what else is different? What else is different? Like, if anybody sees anything that is different, that feels off, I think that we should tell each other, because I think there's power in that. I think that in some way, I believe that is the purpose of reassurance. And maybe we are extremely good at something here. Maybe that our talents were honed back there to be here. I don't know. I'm very excited about it, but I overwhelmingly feel positive about the jump. I overwhelmingly feel positive. I do think that we did it for a purpose. I do think that there's a lot of us. I think that we got out of a negative timeline, and I think that this one will be way better.
Well, I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it here. I definitely believe that there was a shift or something, right? But this is a perfect example of what death feels like. You don't know. You never know. When my father passed, before he passed, he literally was losing who he was. My father was rather young. He was like 71 when he passed. But he couldn't tell you, and weeks before this he could tell you, but during this time he couldn't tell you what year it was. He said 1960. Never seen my dad act like that. And I'm saying that to say this. Dying in that manner most people, if it doesn't happen boom fast for them, dying slowly, you tend to forget where you are and who you are. And that's most deaths. You can ask anybody that when people die, they are not themselves. They either don't know who they are, where they are, they either sleep a lot, they either don't say anything and are quiet because the soul has already left. And what you're looking at is residual memories. That's all you're seeing is residual memories. That full functioning person, that soul that was in that person that animated that lump of clay is gone, has already left the building. And the body can do no more because the soul has used that vessel to its capacity. So when they actually die, life continues on for them on the other side. Like this timeline jump. The timeline jump, we didn't notice it. But when they put out these deaths, it was a red flag, right? How do you know? No, not let me not say it like that. But what if we died in 2012 and we just keep dying? And that's why all these events keep happening, because they are destroying the timeline. After a while, they're not going to be able to keep doing this, allegedly. They're not going to be able to keep doing this. And when the timeline actually snaps back to actual reality, we're going to go to our rightful places. Even if the world had ended, we would have never experienced the world ending. We would have probably saw it coming, but the world in its end stages, we would have never experienced it, because death doesn't exist, because consciousness doesn't know death. Because if you're dead, you don't have a conscience. You have to be conscious to experience things. But hey, once again, I digress, people. And tell me what y'all think. Y'all get in the comments and let me know what y'all think. And like I always say, do what you will with that information. And hey, if you like what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you know when I upload. Get in the description, follow all my social media. And remember, challenge the argument and not the person.